Hello everyone, my name is Mariana Galvan and welcome to math class. Today we will be learning how to multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers. The objectives or goals of this lesson will be that students will be able to multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers using strategies like area array models and getting partial products. Okay, so today I'm going to be teaching our fourth graders this strategy using the area array models. And I think this is a great strategy just because our fourth graders are more of visual learners, and this will help them understand more how to multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers. So I know that we learned a little bit differently how to multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers because we learned the way that we would do it is to regroup, and we never saw a problem like this. So today I'm going to be giving my students this problem, and then I'm going to give them a little bit of a space here where they're going to sketch. First of all, I'm going to ask them to draw a box, and this box is going to have 4 parts. I'm going to tell them to divide this box into 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And why? Because I have, how many numbers do I have over here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the spaces for my numbers. I want them first to look at the first number, which is 24. I want them to write it over here, and then I'm gonna ask them to break apart this number, which is 24. So they're gonna end up with 20 and 4. If we add them together, we would end up with 24, the number that we had at first. And then I'm gonna ask him to get the 20 and the 4 and place the 20 over here on this box, and then the 4 on this one. The 20 for this one and the 4 for this one. Then I'm going to ask him to get the other number, which is 21. I'm going to tell him to do the same thing. We have to break apart 21, so we would end up with a 20 and a 1. If we add them together, the 20 and the 1 will give us 21, the number that we started out with. So the 21, now I'm going to ask my students to place it over here. We're going to place the 20 over here and the 1 over here. So here are my numbers broken apart. So now I'm going to tell them to multiply 20 by 20. When we multiply 20 by 20, what number, what product does 20 by 20 gives us? I just don't want my students to get confused or think, oh my god, I have to multiply 20 by 20, that's a large number. So I'm going to tell them, I'm going to give them a tip, and I'm going to ask them, how many zeros do we have here? How many zeros do you see? So we have 1 0 and we have another 0, so we have a total of 2 zeros. So I'm going to tell them to write those zeros right away, and then what do we end up with? 2 and 2. And I just wanted for them to know, what is 2 times 2, which gives us 4. So 20 by 20 gives us a total, a product of 400. So now that we have over here, this one, we're going to go again to the 20, and we're going to multiply 20 times 1. How many zeros, again, do we see? On this one, we have 1. Here, we don't have any zeros. So we have how many zeros? 1 0. So I'm going to tell them to break the 0 right here. Now we have to worry about the 2 and the 1. So what is 2 times 1? Is 2. So we're done with our first 2 boxes. Now we're going to go to the bottom. So we have 4 times 20. And then again, how many zeros do we see? Well, just 1, right? So we put our 0. We put our finger or hand on it. So what do we end up with? 4 times 2. What is 4 times 2? It's 8. So now, what do we have? 4 times 1. What is 4 times 1? 4. So now that we have our 4 boxes complete, we're going to get our partial products. These are our partial products. So I'm going to get my first partial product, which is 400. And then I'm going to get my other partial product, which is 80. Then my other one, 20. And then my last one, which is 4. Now I want the students to add them together. So when we add 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 4, we end up with a 4. When we add 0 plus 8 plus 2, we end up with a 10. We carry the 1 over here. Remember, we have to be very careful to see if we're carrying numbers. So 4 and plus the 1 that I have over here is 5. My answer is 504. So once they sketch it, they have already an answer, and doing this problem will help them check their answer. So if they already got this answer with the area array model, now I want them to do this, solve this problem. So I will be teaching my students that way. It's called a turtle. So you do a turtle. This is the turtle, the head, right? And this is the neck. So this is going to tell me that first I'm going to get the number on the ones place, which is a 1, and I'm going to multiply it first by the number on top and then by the number across it. So 1 times 4 gives you 4. 1 times 2 gives me 2. So I'm already done with this one, right? So now I'm gonna move up to my tens place. My tens place is occupied by the number 2. So now I'm going to do my turtleneck to the other side, okay? And something I forgot that is very important, once we're done with the first turtle neck, we put a collar on the neck. That's going to tell us that we already used this number. We're not going to use this number anymore. So what's the next number? It's a 2, which is on the tens place. So I'm going to get my 2 times 4. And where am I going to put my answer? Here or here? I'm going to tell my students that we're going to put a 0 here automatically, because this is the place of what? Of the ones, and we're on the tens already. So 2 times 4 is 8. I'm going to put my 8 here. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So now I put my other turtle, my collar on my turtleneck, and then I'm ready to add. So I have 4, 8 plus 2 is 10. I carry my 1. 4 plus 5 is 400. So my totals, these two are my totals. I'm going to ask my students, do they match? Yes, they have the same total by doing this problem and by sketching the area array model. So this is the strategy that I think it would help them a lot, because they're separating the two-digit numbers that we're multiplying and seeing it here. So they break them apart and then they add them together to get the answer. Sometimes there's also they give you another problems like this. You have 20 times 14, right? So when we sketch this problem, when we're multiplying 20 times 14, instead of having 4 sections, we're only going to sketch 2 sections. Reason being, when we try to break apart 20, it's just a whole number. So 20 would end up as 20. To break apart 14, we would do the same that we did over here. We would get a 10 and a 4. So now you're wondering, how am I gonna place the 10 and the 4 and the 20 over here if you have 4 spaces and we only have 3 numbers here? So we draw our box, which is our area array model, and instead of breaking it apart in 4 parts, I'm gonna put my whole number over here, and then I'm gonna put my 10 over here. So I'm going to draw a line here through the middle, and then I'm going to put my 4. So what does this tell us? We're going to do the same we did over here. We're going to divide. We're going to multiply 10 by 20. I'm going to ask my students, then again, how many zeros do we have? We see that we have 2 zeros. So we automatically put our 2 zeros. Now, if we cover our 2 zeros, what do we end up with? 1 and 2. What is 1 times 2? Is 2. So 10 times 20 is 200. Now we're done with that box. We go to the next one. 4 times 20. Again, how many, if I cover my numbers, these two numbers, how many zeros do I end up with? Just one. So I immediately put my 1, and then if I cover the 0, they already put over here, what do I end up with? 4 times 2. What is 4 times 2? 80. Now I get my partial products, 200 plus 80. And sometimes when they end up like that, I tell my students to just place an addition sign over there. And this line will be our total, and we can start adding 0, 8, 2. Now we go over here, 0, 0 plus 8 is 8, and 2. So we end up with 280. So we already have that total. Now we will move up to our problem. We then again use our turtle. That tells us that we're first going to multiply the number 4 by the 0, and then we're going to multiply number 4 by 2. So 4 times 0, 0, 4 times 2, 8. We put a collar. We move on to the tens place. Now 1 times 0, 0, and we put our 0 here immediately because this is the ones place and we're already in the tens place. So 1 times 2, 2. Then we put our addition sign and we start adding. 0 plus 0 is 0, 8 plus 0 is 8, and then 2. Do our totals, final products, do they match? Yes. That tells us that our answer is right. I also want to show you something because sometimes when teaching this lesson, I noticed that some of my students were having problems when they were carrying numbers. So